Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to stand up for these kids and we want to be able to give them a voice. We advocate for children first. And this is a story that really pains me to talk about because nothing is worse than a baby being abused. But I think something that could be equally comparable, maybe even a little bit worse, depending on how you guys see it. But I think it's even worse when a child is disabled. When a child is disabled, it has even more challenges, it needs even more help, and is even more desperate than the average kid, okay? And that's the story of this little boy here. And I want to tell you guys this story. There's a 24-year-old Missouri man that has been accused of beating to death his girlfriend's 5-year-old son. Hashtag mom's boyfriend, hashtag momsboyfriend.com, because I believe that momsboyfriend.com actually did either one of these stories or both of these stories that we're getting ready to talk about, okay? But this little boy was blind and developmentally disabled. Blind and developmentally disabled while the child's mother was away giving birth. Let me say thank you to Beating the Odds. Took on the $10 challenge as well. Says you're my #1 fan. I'm absolutely honored to have any fans at all. So I want to say thank you very much. Let me also say welcome to one of our new channel members that hopped in here earlier. And I don't know if I can see it, but you guys saw that we had a channel member to join earlier. Make sure and shout them out because I can't see it right now. But I know I missed it, but I want to shout you out as well. You guys heard that correctly. This disabled boy was left at home with mom's boyfriend. And the mom was away giving birth. I know that is a lot to hear all at one time, but I'm going to do my best to try to explain it all the way through, okay? Now, Jamarion Delancy was identified as the child set upon by the individual. Let me see if I can get his picture back up on the screen. This individual's name is Yoshua Dallas. Yoshua, Yoshua, last name Dallas, last week, leaving him with deep internal injuries, according to the St. Louis County investigators. Now, an autopsy showed that the little boy, Jamarion, died of blunt force trauma to the abdomen, resulting in a lacerated liver and a broken rib, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports. How many stories this year have we done? Matter of fact, you could even just look just since the summertime of children who have been hit really hard in the stomach, lacerated spleens, lacerated livers, broken ribs. It seems like we're doing these stories so often that it's really hard to determine which story is which. And I know a lot of you that have been watching for a long time, if this is your first time watching, when you come in, please click the thumbs up. It will help share our story, share the story of this little boy who I believe needs to have his story told, and we need to have more justice for these babies every single time something happens, because we have to start curbing this thing really quickly because these babies depend on us. And if nobody else is going to be there and if nobody else is going to care, I think we need to. That's why we have the AFC. That means we advocate for children first. The mother's boyfriend has been charged with abuse or neglect of a child resulting in death. Now, according to an online fundraiser started by the St. Louis County Police Association over the weekend, Jamarion's mother by the name of Ananye, and let me see if I can get her face up on the screen. That is her Facebook page that currently doesn't have much of anything on it. But I think I have a picture of her, which is, this is the mother. That's Ananye. And according to her, Jamarion's mother, Ananye, was hospitalized last Tuesday after she went into labor with her third child. Now, how many of these children belong to the boyfriend is yet to be seen. I'm just going to assume that this child, Jamarion, was not his. So the other children, I'm not sure. We're just going to assume that the one that she's pregnant with and giving birth to is the boyfriend's kid. But nowadays, it can be a little bit convoluted. Now, let's talk about the mom placing trust in the boyfriend, because I've told you guys, it's one thing for the mom to like a man and sleep with a dude just because you find him attractive, you like this type of individual, but it's a whole nother thing for this individual to be a good candidate to be a babysitter or a caretaker of a child. Just because you like having sex with him, ma'am, don't mean he's going to be good with kids and do the best by these children. Hopefully everybody understands where I'm coming from on that. Jamarion and his 7-year-old sister, Micaiah, were left in the care of Joshua Dallas in the 1700 block of Chiquita Terrace in North St. Louis County. The following morning, Joshua Dallas took the gravely injured boy, who showed no obvious signs of trauma or injuries, to St. Louis Children's Hospital. Several hours later, the boy was pronounced dead. Now, an investigation revealed that Jamarion sustained devastating blunt force trauma to include a lacerated liver and intestine, a broken rib, and bruising to his face and inside his mouth, the fundraiser stated. These injuries caused significant internal bleeding and were the cause of this little boy's death. Matt Creelis of the Fraternal Order of Police told Fox 2 Now that Jamarion's older sister was at home at the time of the attack and suffered emotional trauma. So what that means is that one of the other kids saw this happen to her baby brother. Isn't that something? That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Now, according to the police union, Jamarion was blind and had limited mobility, requiring the use of braces on his legs. Jamarion had no way to defend himself against the suspect's attack, the statement read. Now, Joshua Dallas had allegedly admitted to being Jamarion's caretaker in the hours leading up to his hospitalization. He is being held in the St. Louis County Justice Center on a $250,000 cash bond, and the Police Association's fundraiser as of Tuesday night had raised $41,000 of a $50,000 goal in donations. Now, Jamarion's death has left an impact on members of the St. Louis County Police Department, and we feel compelled to do more, especially at a time of year when families typically gather and celebrate the holidays, the organizers of the campaign wrote. Bookmark that, because I'm going to come back to it, because I got a lot to say about the police and the police helping these people and how we in society view the police. I have a lot to say about that. But let me show you guys the news videos first. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right. Sorry. There we go. Let me make sure how many thumbs up we have so I can turn this chat on. Guys, we just reached 200 thumbs up, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the chat on. Let me turn the live chat on so everybody can chat. It's a very easy and very simple thing that I ask people to do. So thank you guys for doing that. Our next goal is going to be 400 thumbs up. Whenever we can get that, that'd be awesome. Let me also say thank you and a huge shout out to Miss Nisi. If you are listening, Miss Nisi said, a voice for the babies. Love what you do, Jay. Miss Nisi is always showing love, and she sent it by way of PayPal. And I want to say thank you for every single moment and always finding it in your time and in your budget to be able to contribute. Miss Nisi, I love you, and I want to say thank you very much. Now, the live chat is on. If you're watching right now and you haven't been able to hit that live chat button, refresh your screen, and you should be able to click it or close the video, open it back up. You should now be able to type, "What's up, Graves family? I'll see you in there." So everybody else should be able to chat, but refresh refresh your screens and you should be able to talk. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go.
Good evening, and first on Fox, a shocking, horrific crime in North St. Louis County moved police to help the mother of the victim.
Police say a 5-year-old boy with special needs was killed by his mother's boyfriend while she was in the hospital. Fox 2's Rocky Madden is live with more on how officers reacted. Rocky.
Sandy, the Fraternal Order of Police here in St. Louis County have opened a GoFundMe account for the little boy's surviving family. Neighbors who live in the 1700 Blanca Chiquita Terrace in North County are stunned by what police say happened Thursday.
I'm actually kind of shocked because it's usually pretty quiet over here. I mean, you might hear somebody arguing here or there, but you don't really hear anything like that.
24-year-old Joshua Dallas is charged with 1 count of abuse or neglect of a child resulting in death. Jamarion Delancy's mom was hospitalized giving birth, and police say Dallas was babysitting Jamarion and used blunt force trauma to kill the boy. The youngster suffered a lacerated liver, a broken rib, and bruising to his face. Jamarion could not defend himself because he is blind and has leg braces.
This one really kind of hit our detectives hard, and we're glad we can help out. We hope the community can support us in that as well.
The Fraternal Order of Police started a GoFundMe page for Jamarion's family to help pay for the boy's funeral, medical expenses, and other things.
His 7-year-old sister, unfortunately, was home at the time of the incident. So there's definitely some trauma that she's going to have to process. The mother's going to be coming home with a newborn baby.
Bond for Dallas is set at $250,000 cash only. The grief he caused the boy's family and others cannot be measured.
It's just a sad situation all around.
Boy, it sure is. Now, Dallas, it turns out, is a felon, and police have also charged him with an unlawful possession of a firearm. Police are hoping that you and others will join them in assisting the family. If you want to take part, jump on our app or our website. We've got the link for you there. Reporting live here in North County, I'm Rocky Madden, Fox 2 News.
In a Fox 2 News follow-up, 24-year-old Joshua Dallas is charged with abuse or neglect resulting in the death of a 5-year-old boy from Spanish Lake. Police say Jamarion Delancy was unresponsive when Dallas brought him to St. Louis Children's Hospital. The boy later died. An autopsy revealed Delancy suffered blunt force trauma to the abdomen, resulting in a lacerated liver and broken ribs. Dallas admitted to being the boy's sole caretaker for the last 24 hours.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot to unpack with this rather short story, but let me see if I could do this. I'm going to give you guys a piece of information that I skipped. Joshua Dallas, who is 24 years old. Let me see if I can get his face back up on the screen for you guys. This individual on the left-hand side was charged November 19th with the abuse and neglect of a child resulting in death and unlawful possession of a firearm. I'm going to repeat that. Unlawful possession of a firearm. There's a reason that I'm reiterating that, because he is not supposed to have a firearm. Does anybody want to take a guess as to why he's not supposed to have a firearm? Huh? Can we get some of our hashtags in there? Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. Hashtag when you gamble on a thug, you lose. Hashtag no jail time, give them hell time. How many other hashtags do we have? A lot of them. There's a reason I bring that up. He is a convicted felon, and they found the gun in his possession. He is a felon. He is a felon that this mom had around this kid, and that cannot be ignored at all, okay? Because one thing we have to understand is that if we continue to reward criminals, then criminals don't see any reason to be any different, and we don't see any reason to change our behavior in the black community when it comes stupid is and stupid thugs. Thank you. We got a lot of hashtags. They don't see any reason, and they have no reason to change their behavior because they're being incentivized. We're having a lot of our women, a lot of our sisters that are going out there and procreating with these criminals. Okay? It doesn't mean that you can't redeem yourself after being a criminal, but what I am saying is that if you do something like this, that either hurts someone, kills someone, hurts a kid, abuses a kid, anything like that, then at that point, your record, your background, your jacket, your rap sheet can and will be used against you in the court of popular opinion, like the AFC. So in a case like this, I am absolutely right for judging this man because of his record to say that he is a horrible individual. He's a thug. He's a damn criminal. Okay? Let me ask you guys this. A child who can't see and a child who can't hardly walk. What did this child do to this man that was so bad that he needed to hit him so hard in the stomach that it caused his death, ripping his insides, his intestines, his spleen, his liver, breaking his ribs? Matter of fact, let alone the fact that he's disabled, even if he were just a normal, let's just say normal. Normal is the correct term. But let's just say he's a normal kid. Normal kid. What could any kid do to deserve this? And if you ask me, I say there is nothing that this kid could have done to deserve what he got. But let me address something that one of the people in the chat said, because I thought this was pretty poignant. We had a person in the chat said, those darn white cops. Weren't they defunded? Someone say something now. I'm going to point something out to you guys. First and foremost, in order to go get these criminals, we have to have somebody on our time, on payroll, to go get these dangerous felon criminals. I want to know what citizens out there are going to be the ones that are going to go wrestle these criminals down and risk their lives. You know what? It's usually not that many, which is why we generally don't have that many people that volunteer their safety and their life to be police officers. And on top of that, the fact that you're talking about defunding the cops, which means you will have less incentive to go get these people, less incentive to apply for these jobs, and less likely to do the job up to the standards of a police officer. When you're saying, I know you were getting paid this amount of money, now we're going to pay you less, but we want you to do the job the same way, if not better. But let me ask you guys a real question before I get to the point of talking about these police officers' color of their skin hue. Let me ask you guys this. How many of you guys that are listening to the sound of my voice right now, if you work a job, if you have a company, if somebody told you that your company was going to make half as much money, but we want you to put out the same amount of product, put out the same amount of services, put in the same amount of energy into your company, would you continue to do that if you were going to make half of what you were bringing in? Or how about this? If you are working a 9-to-5 job, if you're working for a company, working for anybody, whether you're working on a salary or making payroll, if somebody told you that they were going to cut your pay in half for your job that you got to get up and wake up and go work on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, how many of you guys would do your job with the same amount of vigor, the same amount of thrill, the same amount of energy if somebody told you, okay, well, we're going to have to cut your pay because we don't have the money anymore. So we got to cut your pay in half. So whatever you were getting, cut that in half, but we still want you to take care of your family the same way that you were before, and we still want you to show up on time, and we still want you to have the same amount of responsibility. How many of y'all would be okay with that? Because if you wouldn't be, then why would you ask for police officers that you continue to call and harass and bother, like, hey, cops, we need you to do this, we need you to do that, we need you to do this, we need you to do that, all day long? but you want them to do their job the same way. But why can't we understand that what you give out is what you will receive back? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you? Or am I wrong for bringing up Bible quotes right about now? Maybe I am. But let me say this. I'm glad. Oh, also, let me address the race thing. Why they talking about how many racist cops are out there? Huh? Y'all have heard that in the media before, because that's not my opinion. I think the cops are cops. They're individuals, they're humans, and I treat everybody based on the merits of their actions. Say this. I judge people based on what they do, not based on their color. And no, I don't think all cops are racist. No, I don't think we need to defund the police. But it's funny how we talk all that stuff about what the police do and don't do. They risk their lives to save us or rescue us from a situation, or do something that we just simply don't want to do ourselves with regard to putting ourselves in legal jeopardy if we were to take the law into our own hands. These police officers that helped this family raise that money and help this family go at least see about this kid and go arrest this felon, they did all of that in order to try to make this world just a little bit of a better place, and to try to make it a little bit easier on the mom. They raised $50,000. And I want to throw something out there before I close this story that maybe some of you didn't even think about. You ready for this? Some of those same police officers that help put the word out there, spread the word, and raise that $50,000, some of them don't even make that in their salary. Damn. But I digress. We'll bring that thing up another day, and I never miss an opportunity to talk about things that I feel like are important that will help our society. Again, I'm going to say this. We have to stop messing with thugs. If you, ladies, and I'm going to tell y'all, if y'all just happen to be dating somebody who has a criminal record, just got out of jail, don't do it when you got kids. If you got kids, don't do it. Okay? You've already made your bed, lay in it. Okay? Start getting background checks, and these people need to prove themselves in society. Prove themselves that they're going to be law-abiding citizens. Prove themselves that they're going to be fathers and good role models. They need to prove themselves, and why don't we, my ladies, I know my ladies in the chat understand this, but why can't my ladies out there in society understand that we got to start raising the bar? I think you ladies are awesome. I think you deserve a lot, and I think you deserve better than selling for the black sticky shit at the bottom of the barrel. Be the cream of the crop. Deserve better. If you know that you're better, you have to do better, and you have to deserve better. And don't put your kids in this type of danger for any reason at all. Okay? I want to thank you guys so much for listening to my words and my thoughts. I hope you listen with an open mind and an open heart, and I hope that it matters, and I hope that it can change somebody's life. There is absolutely no reason to put your hands, feet, or other objects on these children whatsoever. Don't spank them. Don't hit them. Don't be abusive to these kids. You don't even have to yell at these kids. We got to start parenting from here. The power of the mind is a very powerful thing. Use this, your heart. Use this, your mind. That's how you be a proper parent. It's a mind thing, okay? From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the AFC podcast, where we advocate for children first. And I want to say this to that baby boy. Let me see if I can get his picture back up here by himself. I don't know if I have a solo picture of him right here. This little boy right here. Want to wish him an RIP. He deserved an opportunity. We'll see you guys on the next story. Let me go ahead and bring up our next story. I'm going to thank all of the people that are here so far. We do have one more story to tell. And if you guys want to know how many stories we have per stream, then all you have to do is look at the thumbnail of the video of the stream that you're on. And it generally will tell you. I try to split them up in 2s and 3s so you'll know. I've kind of gone away from doing one show just because it's so many children out here being abused that in order for us to try to catch up, we almost have to do these stories 2 and 3 and 4 stories at a time. And that's sad. That's really sad. We should not have these many child abuse stories, but we do. Let me go ahead and get my videos up here. We're getting ready to start part 2. If you guys have not, and I felt my phone vibrating, so if you guys are donating, I appreciate that. I'm about to shout them out here in a minute. Let me also say thank you in the super chat. Tiffany A. Love said, thank you, Jay, for all that you do for our babies. I want to say thank you to you as well, if you're still listening. And we also had one come in from, I bet you I missed it. If I missed your super chat, no, I didn't. Jerry Smith, I got you. Jerry Smith is in the house and said, what's up, AFC fam? Thank you very much, Jerry Smith. Took on the $5 challenge, so thank you very much. This next story is just as heartbreaking. Once y'all hear, there's a reason I have that picture up there. I blurred it out because even though she wasn't actually showing her actual physical, her little organ things down there, but it was still a bit too much booby hanging there, so I had to kind of blur that out. So I ain't trying to get flagged, man. Well, we getting ready to talk about that heinous looking woman here in just a second. So let me go ahead and pull that story up. Give me here just a moment. Remember, guys, our goal is 400 thumbs up. Very easy thing to do, and it don't cost us nothing to do that, okay? If you guys came to hear the news, then you are not in the right place. This is me giving my commentary, so everybody here ought to be able to be here to hear my commentary. If you came to hear the news, just Google search the stories, okay? We're at 278 thumbs up. So in order to reach 300 thumbs up, we need 22 more people to click that thumbs up. 22 more people. If we can get that, that would be awesome. 22 more people. Got 462 people here. Yes, that's what I was trying to say, Philly Chica. I was just not trying to say it all like that. Yeah, she doing, that woman was doing way too much, man. Way too much. I don't know why she taking pictures like that. See if I could stretch this out a little bit. Sorry, that chat is just going to be really small, man, until we can get this thing fixed. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about this next story. Let me see. Let me get this one closed out. That one. Okay. Markus Gray. That's the story we got to talk about. Let me see if I can get... Okay, yeah, let's start here. Let's start with this damn dress right here, man. Look at this. This girl looked like she, I don't know, like a pack of ham wrapped in some red saran wrap. I don't know what she looked like. She's like a Christmas, like a wrapped up Christmas turkey. Absolutely ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, to talk about this story it's a little bit difficult, but there's a little boy who, I guess sometimes in the midst of tragedy, you can find triumph. And that's probably the best way I can say it. In the midst of tragedy, you can find triumph. And this is the story of a little boy who was abused at the hands of his caretakers. And I want to tell you guys, there's a little boy who is now blind because he suffered abuse at the hands of his caretakers. The I-Team brought the story in February, and we're now hearing from the boy himself. So we're actually going to play a video of this boy, and we'll be able to hear from him, which I think is actually really, really cool, okay? Let me take a pause real quick because Lisa Lacombe took on the $10 challenge or two $5 challenges and said that was a mic drop. I like that mic drop. Hey, thank you, Lisa Lacombe. I like that emoji. That's really cool. But let's talk about this story. A lot to unpack here. Life for Markus Gray, who was the little boy in this story, the 9-year-old boy, has been very different after he was rendered blind after a beating with a belt last November. I want to know if there is still anybody out there, any black folk, anybody out there who still believes that spanking children is the correct thing to do. Because I don't. I think people need to stop being physical with kids. If you can't reason with a kid on a mental, spiritual, and emotional level, then in my opinion, I don't think people who have to beat up kids are suitable parents. Okay? It's my personal opinion, but I think that we could do so much better. This little boy was beaten so bad with a belt that it blinded him. He can never ever see ever again. This little boy questioned, and again, his name is Markus Gray. Let me see if I can get you guys a picture of this little boy. Let me get you a better picture of this little boy, because he has a bright smile. This little boy right here, this is Markus Gray, 9 years old. He asked the question, what did I do wrong? His paternal grandmother, Deborah Evans, is the one who now cares for him, which is her right there. To me, there is nothing that you could have done to deserve this, for this to happen to you. Nothing is what she said, and I agree. Metro Police say that, let me see if I can get those individuals' faces up on my screen. Give me a moment. These two young men right here, these two young men are the ones who have been arrested and been charged with this occurring to this boy, okay? Matter of fact, is that two men or is that a man and a woman? I know the person on the left there, that's a man, I think. The person on the right, I'm not sure. Looks like he got a little chin hair under the bottom there. I guess that's a woman. We're going to call that a woman, okay? For all intents and purposes. That man and that woman, the man's name is Akoya Hudgens, and he was the one who hit Markus with the belt to discipline him, so to say. He is the live-in boyfriend of the mother. And the mother apparently is the one on the right-hand side, and her name is Jamarion Jackson. Jamarion Jackson. I'm sorry, I don't like the name. I don't. It's a stupid name. But whatever. Even after they knew that this boy was hurt, the mother didn't take him to the hospital until 6 days later. Can somebody type that in the chat, please? They didn't take him to the hospital until six days later. Hudgens and Jackson were eventually arrested. Now, Akoya Hudgens, the dude, the boyfriend, apologized during his interview with the I-Team from jail. He said, as I was going to swing the belt, the kid, turned around like this. He turned his head, and I accidentally hit him in the face, according to his words, and that's him right there with his funny-looking self. That dude looks like, I don't know. He looks kind of alien-like to me, if you ask me. A funny-looking dude. Anyway, a doctor explained in front of the grand jury, for injuries like Markus, his eyesight may have been saved if he had received medical treatment sooner. They could have saved this boy's sight if they would have gotten him medical treatment sooner. Please bookmark that in your minds, please. The I-Team questioned why Hudgens didn't get him help, which he replied, I told her to get it checked out to see how his eyes were doing, but I'm not the parent, so I can't go and take him and get him checked out. What? Did y'all hear that? I'm going to read that again. His response to the news people asking him, since he was the one that beat the boy up, why didn't he go get the kid help? He said, I told the mom Her right there looking like a hot bag of sausage with that red dress on. He told the mom that she needs to go get his eyes checked out. And he said, I'm not the parent, so I can't go get him checked out. But here's the thing. He want to play like a parent, but don't want to actually be a parent. And this is who you had your kid, your son around, ma'am? He want to be around you and play house like he was Dog Pound on the dog food album. He want to play house, but didn't actually want to be a dad. Isn't that something? And these are who y'all are choosing to be around y'all kids? Man. He said, I'm not the parent. But apparently, you felt like you were parent enough to take a belt to this kid for whatever reason. Your ass felt like whooping him. You felt like it was necessary for you to go spank this kid, trying to be like his daddy. But now when it comes to taking responsibility for your actions, now you don't want to be daddy? Are y'all hearing me? Are y'all hearing how punkish and how big of an excuse this dude is trying to make? Absolutely ridiculous. But let's move on. He also confirmed to us that he was the one who hit Marcus with the belt. Yes, ma'am, I hit him with the belt. He said one time. Now, how many of y'all that are listening to the sound of my voice believe that he only hit this kid one time with a belt? Matter of fact, for those who have grown up in the black community, how many of you guys have ever been hit with a belt only one time? How many of you guys ever had your mom, your dad, your grandparent, or whoever the hell spanked you, whooped you with a belt? How many of y'all only got hit with the belt one time? What black household only pulls out a belt, goes through all the trouble to find a belt, find a thick belt, get you to bend over in some shape, form, or fashion, and hit you with that thing one time? I've never heard of the case. And matter of fact, how can this damn fool be that bad of a belt spanker that you spank the boy's eyeballs? This idiot. How do you spank a kid's eyeballs? Let me say thank you and welcome to one of our new channel members, which is Francis J. Spencer, showing some love, joining the AFC channel membership, and that'll give you access to early and late chat. It'll give you access to the community tab, and I want to welcome you and say thank you so much for finding it in your heart and in your budget to be a part of the AFC family. So welcome, Francis J. Spencer. Let me ask you guys this question. Anybody who has ever been spanked, on average, you guys can post the number in the chat. Just simply post the number when you got a spanking. On average, how many licks or how many swats would you get when you got spanked? When your parent or your caretaker spanked you, how many times during a spanking session would you get hit with a belt? Because back in my day, when I used to be a little bit of a, what did they call it? A rebellious kid, so to say. I'd say on an average, I may have gotten hit maybe 20 times, 25 times in a normal spanking session, enough to get your ass stinging and to the point to where it hurt to where you can't sit down and you're crying for minutes and minutes and minutes after, maybe even hours after. Oh, Lord, somebody in the chat says 60. Jesus Christ. They gave you the slave treatment. My goodness. On average, how many licks would y'all get? Just post your number in the chat. Whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 licks or whether it's more. But I want y'all to notice that hardly nobody will ever say one time. Let's move on. The little boy is adapting to his new normal. He said that last time he could see shadows, but now he can't even see shadows anymore. Evans says Markus is learning Braille now, which you guys can see from that picture. And he's doing pretty well in school. And y'all can see, look at that smile on that boy. The fact that he went through that much and he can still smile, to me, that's what I'm talking about, a testament of triumph right there. Let me back that picture up because it's so important. In the midst of this boy being beat so bad that he can no longer see. So he knows the value of sight, and he knows that he can never ever see again. The fact that this little boy still has that smile, I think that ought to warm your heart up a little bit. So you can look at this kind of like a bittersweet story. That is an indomitable spirit right there. That is a determined young man. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell y'all something else here in just a little bit about him. He also is a fan of the arts. And he said that he loves things like ballet, gymnastics, cheerleading, acrobats, dancing, and lots of stuff. He's a very unique kid, Evans said. Markus questioned what that meant, and she said that unique means that you do some awesome stuff sometimes, and he wants to be this, what can I say? He wants to be a star. Let me tell you guys, because I don't know if they're going to tell you in the news video, another thing that this boy said that I thought was just absolutely just from God. This boy said that he was glad his siblings weren't there to have to experience what he experienced. He was glad that his sibling was not there, so they didn't have to experience what he experienced. Yes, in both eyes, he cannot see at all. He's hoping that he can get a surgery at some point that can maybe help him see again. Now, Hudgens pleaded guilty to the child abuse, and Hudgens is the, I think that's the mom, if I'm not mistaken. Let me scroll back. Let me see. No, Hudgens is the boyfriend. So the boyfriend, the man, pleaded guilty to child abuse, and he was sentenced 4 to 10 years in prison. Jackson is currently awaiting trial. Evans says that she and Markus are taking it one day at a time. He should never have to experience none of this, she lamented. Marcus's grandmother says that his teacher told her he is doing well in school and he could even be in a gifted program. Let me give you guys the fair usage. We're going to talk about all of that stuff here in just a moment. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, here we go. Let's listen to these news videos.
Fly me to the moon, let me play amongst the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
Now at 11.
A child beaten so badly, police say he suffered major damage to his eyes. The boy's mother and her then boyfriend facing numerous charges.
The I-Team's Vanessa Murphy has an exclusive interview with one of the defendants. Now, we need to warn you, the images in this report are of a sensitive nature.
An 8-year-old boy, bruises on his body, his eyes red. Doctors and detectives say a beating with a buckle to the face left him blind. Metro Police say this is the man who did it.
I want him to know that I'm very sorry.
29-year-old Akoya Hudgens agreed to an interview with us. He is in jail awaiting trial.
As I was going to swing the belt, the kid turned around like this, and I accidentally hit him in the face.
He claims he was trying to discipline the boy.
I didn't have any intention of hurting this child.
Hudgens and the child's mother are pleading not guilty to child abuse charges. Prosecutors allege 31-year-old Jamarion Jackson let the abuse happen. Hudgens was her live-in boyfriend at this home near Sahara and Lamb. She is currently on house arrest.
Jamarion?
But the I-team could not reach her for this report.
Do you understand the proceedings that are happening today?
Metro Police say after she found her son crying, holding his face, and having trouble seeing, she failed to get him help.
They were doing their own home testing rather than seeking medical care.
Home testing? Like what?
The mom would make faces, see if the child could mimic, ask if he knew the colors on the curtains.
6 days later, according to police, Jackson took her son to Sunrise Hospital. And the child said he was scared to go home and glad his younger brother was in daycare and not at home. Hudgens and Jackson were arrested and both children were removed from the home.
He's permanently blind. He had to be transferred to Stanford for some testing. He had surgery there. He stayed there for some time, and he was released to relatives in California and should be receiving all kinds of therapeutic services to adjust to his new life.
A doctor explained in front of the grand jury for injuries like the child's, the condition can sometimes be reversed or improved with medical care. But too much time had passed before the boy was taken to the hospital.
Why didn't you get him help?
I told her to get it checked out, to see how his eyes are doing. But I'm not the parent, so I can't go and take him and get him checked out.
You're not the parent, but you were hitting him with a belt, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I want y'all to notice something, and I don't want to take too much credit away from this woman, but what I do want to say is that I believe that our presence as the AFC is starting to mean something in society, and more people are starting to call people out who hurt children, speak their mind and call it out. And this woman said, well, you called yourself a parent, you put yourself in a parent's position, so why didn't you, as a parent, responsible parent, take the kid to the hospital since you were the one that caused this? I want y'all to hear this woman say that again, because I love the fact that she questioned him. Love it. Listen at this again.
Before the boy was taken to the hospital.
Why didn't you get him help?
I told her to get it checked out, to see how his eyes are doing. But I'm not the parent, so I can't go and take him and get him checked out.
You're not the parent, but you were hitting him with a belt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. I hit him with the belt one time, yes, ma'am.
But prosecutors allege the incident which left the boy blind was one of several beatings he and his brother suffered at the hands of Hudgens.
They want to paint me to be something that I'm not, and I'm very remorseful, and that this was not purposely done, and it was an accident.
I agree. Y'all said he sounds stupid. He really does. And I think he's just playing stupid because he know what he did.
What he calls an accident led to lifelong consequences for a little boy. Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
Okoye is expected back in court on Wednesday, and Jackson is due back in court in April. According to state law, child abuse is physical or mental injury of a non-accidental nature, and excessive corporal punishment may constitute abuse or neglect.
I need to call this out real quick because I love this when our people come in swinging. That's why we're the AFC, and I love all of you guys. Let me say real quick what Francis said. Francis said for like $10, background checks can be done from your phone. There is no excuse. And I definitely love that last part. No excuse. We have to stop making excuses for people who continue to put their children in danger. Even Miss June Bennett posts the National Child Abuse Hotline. If you see something, say something. That is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in multiple languages. So even if you don't speak English, you can still call the number and get these kids some help. Because I'd rather you report it and be wrong and nothing happened, rather than something happened and nobody said anything. Let's keep going.
And a child is now blind because of abuse he suffered. It is a story the I-Team brought you in February. This evening, we hear from the boy himself. Our I-Team's Vanessa Murphy has a story you'll only see right here on 8 News Now.
Life for Markus Gray is different since this photo was taken. The 9-year-old boy is now blind after a beating with a belt last November.
What did I do wrong? To me, there's nothing that you could have ever done to deserve for this to happen to you. Nothing.
His paternal grandmother, Deborah Evans, cares for him. Metro Police say Akoya Hudgens hit Markus with a belt to discipline him. He was the live-in boyfriend of Marcus's mother, Jamarion Jackson. Even after they knew Markus was hurt, Jackson didn't take him to the hospital until 6 days later. Hudgens and Jackson were eventually arrested. Hudgens apologized during this interview with the I-Team from jail in February.
As I was going to swing the belt, the kid turned around like this, and I accidentally hit him in the face.
A doctor explained in front of the grand jury for injuries like Marcus's, his eyesight may have been saved if he had received medical treatment sooner.
Why didn't you get him help?
I told her to get it checked out, to see how his eyes are doing. But I'm not the parent, so I can't go and take him and get him checked out.
You're not the parent, but you were hitting him with a belt, right?
Yes, ma'am. I hit him with the belt one time, yes, ma'am.
Markus is adapting to his new normal.
Last time I could see shadows shadows, but now I can't.
Evans says he's learning Braille now and doing well in school. He spends time listening to music. His favorites, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and Taylor Swift.
Fly me to the moon.
And he's a fan of the arts.
I like ballet, gymnastics, cheerleading.
He's very unique. He's a very unique little kid.
What does that mean?
Unique meaning that you do some awesome stuff sometimes.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I guess I want to be a cheerleading group.
Another wish, surgery so he can see again. Evans says doctors say they've done what they can, but she and Markus are holding on to hope. He was hurt nearly 1 year ago. For Evans, it's tough to think about. Hudgens pleaded guilty to child abuse and was sentenced 4 to 10 years in prison. Jackson is awaiting trial. Evans says she and Markus are taking it one day at a time.
He should have never had to ever experience none of this.
Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
Deborah Evans says Marcus's teacher told her he is doing so well in school, he could be in a gifted program.
Guys, I got a couple things to talk about before we close this thing out, okay? First and foremost, please, if you can, take a prayer hand emoji, because maybe this little boy can even hear this story and hear us talking about him right now. Put a prayer hand emoji in the chat, because I want us to pray and hope that there can be a surgery, because we have surgeries that can fix people and give people hearing that were never able to hear. And I hope that our technology can get good enough, quick enough, that we can give this boy back his sight that he rightfully deserves. And I pray that that happens, because I know that we could get the crowdfunding done, as far as like if they say, hey, we'll put a GoFundMe together or something like that. This might maybe even be a good situation where a GoFundMe account would be dope if they were able to say, hey, this is what it's going to cost in order to make this surgery happen. I believe this little boy deserves his sight. And I would hope that that would happen at some point. So young man, if you can hear us out there, if grandma can hear us out there, it would just absolutely warm our hearts. I'm glad that he's alive. I'm glad that he has what's called an indomitable spirit, an unbreakable spirit, a strong spirit, a optimistic mentality. The fact that he did not let this idiot, this criminal, and this mother ruin his spirit. And I think that is probably The best thing about this whole story, like I said, that's why I say it's bittersweet, because it's bitter because of the bad, but it's sweet because this young man truly is a blessing, and I'm glad that he's still here. I got one more thing to call out, if y'all don't mind. Y'all might not have seen this coming. I don't know if I'm right or wrong for calling this out, but I found some stuff on Facebook. There's an individual who I blocked his name out, so y'all can't see his name, but he's to the right hand, or he'd be to the left, but on the right hand side of the boyfriend who was arrested, and this is a young picture of him. And he wrote this on October the 26th of this year. He wrote, "Missing you, bro," with a tear face, and said, "Akoya Huggins, #free number 9. The reason I blocked out his face is because I don't want him attacked. I don't want them getting mad at me for putting this out there. But here's my point for even bringing this up. Screw your brother. Screw your friend, your big bro. Screw him. If he gets 10 years in prison, he gets 10 years in prison. Like Ivan Drago said in Rocky IV, if he dies, he dies. If he gets 10 years, he gets 10 years. Screw him. He definitely don't need to get out any earlier. And the fact that if he's saying what I believe that he's saying, which I could be totally wrong, but I'm just basing this on the fact that you're saying, free him. Like you saying, free my partner, free this person, free that person. No, 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 no. What he did was something to a kid that kid did not deserve, and that kid has to live with the rest of his life with these injuries and potentially might not ever be able to see ever again. And for that, I think that as long as that boy can't see, that man shouldn't be able to see the light of day. Now, how about that? Huh? How about that? I think that's fair. But again, to this mother, I don't know how much time they're going to give her, which this is the mom right here. You blow this up on the screen while she's so worried about her look and so worried about her looking good and her having a man and all of that kind of good stuff. And she actually posted this picture on Facebook. I had to blur out the bottom half of it. Posted this for the world to be able to see. Y'all see this, right? More concerned about that. More concerned about this individual. This guy. This is who she felt was worth more than her own son. Jamarion Jackson and Akoya Huggins, or whatever his damn name is, I hope that they get that full 10 years and more if the courts can do it. Eye for an eye. Thank you, Miss June Bennett. Eye for an eye. He can't see for the rest of his life. They shouldn't be able to get out of prison for the rest of their life for what they did to that boy. He couldn't speak for himself, nor could he defend himself. And the fact that this little boy, his indomitable spirit, said that I'm glad my siblings weren't around to get what I got. That, to me, is the key to this whole story. He is a selfless young man. He is a smart young man and a bright young man. And like I said, we can only hope that our technology at some point can bring his sight back, because I think that's the type of individual that can grow up and become something so great. And he probably is going to be great no matter what. But like I said, I think he deserves his opportunity to just be able to see again. He was robbed of it. Okay? So again, we hope to get justice. And I want to say thank you guys for listening to the story. I hope you guys listen with an open mind and an open heart. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. If you want to become a channel member, you guys can do that. You click that $sign, or you can click the bottom down there, and you should see the join the channel membership. Be a part of the AFC and represent the Advocates for Children, where we advocate for children first. From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Y'all have a great night, and we will see you guys on the next story. But hopefully, we can lessen the amount of stories that we have to present to you guys. Y'all enjoy your time. Peace. Want to say thank you guys for dealing with the technical difficulties. I know it took us a long time to even get started, but I want to thank you guys. Almost 600 people in the building for us to start that late. I promise you guys, we're going to start much, much earlier. Thank all of you guys who donated. I think my phone vibrated a couple more times, and it did. Let me shout out a couple more people here if y'all can hear me. Cash App, Melly Cedino in the chat. I got your Cash App and said, good job. Blessings with the prayer hand. So, Melly, if you're listening, thank you very much, Melly. Set Zebra in the chat, showing some love by way of the PayPal. Set Zebra sending in 25 by way of the PayPal. So, I want to say thank you very much. Showing some love. April MG, I think you're in the chat. So, if you were listening, I want to say thank you very much. Took on the $10 challenge. And thank you to Miss Nisi. Thank you to Sarita. Actually, I think you hit us twice. So thank you, Sarita. If you're listening, I want to say thank you to you. Thank you also to Yolanda on the PayPal side, and anybody who joined the channel membership, and anybody who donated in the super chat, and also our patrons, our people on Patreon. And I got to start giving you guys something a little bit exclusive over there on that Patreon. So we'll work on that, but thank you guys. You can also join the Patreon. It's easy to do, one time a month. Thank you, 716 for Life said you're the best DJ. I love your shows. I want to say thank you very much for even listening, even watching, being open-minded, sharing the stories, subscribing, donating, everything. Remember, guys, this is not a me thing. It's a we thing. We're family, and I love you guys, and y'all have a blessed night, all right? Talk to you later. Peace.
Nora's Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.noras915.com. www.noras915.com. That's right, www.noras915.com.
Hello listeners, come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses, like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-sized masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.